I have just gotten out of court and I have some, I had a great day in court today and I want to tell you all about it. If you don't know me, I'm Josh Goldstein. I'm your favorite immigration lawyer, hopefully. And I'm here to help you reach your immigration goals. So I had court today in Mississippi, federal district court in Mississippi. And I appeared at court through video conference like this. So I didn't have to actually go to Mississippi. And the case was brought by a guy who applied for his wife and his twin daughters, who are 8 years old. And they went to the interview in 2022 and were put in administrative processing. They never got a decision on the case. And it was so frustrating for everyone. So we filed a lawsuit. And after we filed a lawsuit, the consulate started requesting documents and things start to be moving along. So that was great news. But the question is, I knew that I won the case in court when the judge asked me how old the daughters are, how old the girls are. And I knew that he had some sympathy for the children at that point, right? Which is great. So I am going to be taking questions from whatever's on your mind. Let me know what your questions are. Do one-on-ones. Yeah, I'll do one-on-one. If you describe your case in the questions, I'll give you a free sort of case evaluation here and now. I'll give you my thoughts on your case if you put them in the comments. All right. So let's see what you got. Hit me with your best question. I put a lightning pin up on TikTok. Put your best question on here. What do you got for me, Instagram? TikTok. Hello, everybody. Here, let's see here. It says here, hello, I need some help with some questions on the application for adjustment of status. All right, well, what's your question? What advice would you give to students who are not eligible for DACA? Okay, so are you an international student? Are you F1? Is that the question? Oh, in terms of career planning. So, okay. Are you an international student with F1 visa? That's the question I have for X Marcella. If you're an international student and you are thinking about your career and you're trying to get a visa to the US, undocumented and not international. If you're an undocumented immigrant and you want to legalize your status, I guess I would need to know more about your situation, but let me offer some suggestions off the top of my head. First of all, I know how hard that is to be undocumented. I mean, I don't personally know that because I'm not undocumented, but I can imagine how hard that must be for you. And so I want to tell you that I see you and I know how hard it is. There are a couple ways you can get a green card if you're undocumented. One way is through a petition from a family member. If you have an immediate relative, maybe your father, your mother, you have a son or daughter who's over the age of 21, or a spouse, you could try and have them petition for you. If you came in the U.S. without admission, and you came across the border without proper entry, you should look into something called parole in place. Do you have an immediate family member who's in the military? That would be a question that I might have for you. Here's a question from Mohammed Rizwan. My brother had an interview last week in Islamabad, U.S. Embassy. They put him on 221G and gave him a DS 5535. All right. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to wait about 6 months. Your brother's going to wait about 6 months. If he doesn't have his visa in 6 months, then you should contact me and I can file a lawsuit, try to get him approved. Okay. Arushia says, what's the fastest way to bring my husband here? It's a long way looking at timeline since I haven't even received a USCIS approval. Well, there is no let me give you one hint. Oh, let me give you one awesome tip, Arusha. Okay, this is what I want you to do. I want you, if you filed an I-130 visa petition for your husband, I want you to go online and file a K3 visa. K3 visa. File for a K3 visa. Okay, so let me explain what the K3 visa is. You file form I-129F, and it's intended to be an application that will allow your husband or your wife to come into the U.S., to wait in the U.S. while you're waiting for the case to get approved. And what happens is when you file it, they'll deny the application, but they'll approve the visa. So that's a good thing. So make sure to file that. And file it before April 1st because that's when the fees go up. Does that help? What other questions do you have? Here's a question from Facebook from Sean. Thanks, Sean, for tuning in. Unfortunately, Sean says his wife was refused on November 4th, 2024 for a marriage license that was not stamped at the Ministry of Interior and the Ministry of Exterior, but it is now my application is being sent back, but it is registered now and it's ready stuck. Sean, are you saying that your case, did the consulate tell you that they're sending your case back for possible revocation? Did they say that? Let me know, Sean. Here's a Facebook user. We are 6 months or over in AP. Do you think we can file a lawsuit and be successful? I think so. Yeah. I mean, I'd have to know what kind of visa you have, but yeah. So Sean says so if you were told that your case is being sent back to USCIS for possible revocation, that is a bad sign. It means that they're going to issue a notice of intent to revoke. Sean, take my advice. File a new I-130 right now. I can help you do it, but file a new I-130. Don't wait for that notice of intent to revoke. Get a new one going. And I know you're probably thinking, but I already paid the fee for the other one. I know, but trust me on this. You'll save a lot of time. Here's one from a Facebook user. Hi, Joshua L. Goldstein. That's me. I filed DS-55 before 7 months after my interview, and before 40 days, the embassy sent me an online DS-5535. Could I apply for mandatory with you, mandamus now with you, or do I have to wait 2 months? I think you're going to have to wait a little while. Here's a question from Mati Carlos on Instagram. How far along administrative processing can you file a mandamus lawsuit? That's a great question. So the question is, how long do you have to be in administrative processing before you can file a lawsuit? And the answer is, it's a gray area, but we would like to see someone in administrative processing before filing a lawsuit. We'd like to wait something like maybe 4 or 5 months, something like that. It takes us a little while to prepare it. So maybe 6 months. That might be helpful. I mean, I don't want someone to wait in administrative processing at all, but we don't want to file a lawsuit and lose. You know what I mean? Here's a question in Arabic. I don't know what that means. I was going to convert it to English through something. Sir, what is first name is mandatory? Here's a question. Hello, Josh. I'm a green card holder and I happen to give birth in Jamaica. What can I do? Contact the U.S. consulate in Kingston. Getting a little sleepy here. Give me some good questions. Here's from Berkey's collection. My granddaughters and her husband live and are citizens and applied for a tourist visa and was refused. Please advise what's the best for me to apply. So I think lawsuit will be faster than new I-130. I don't think a lawsuit is going to work to generate a notice of intent to revoke, and then you're going to have to respond to that. File a new I-130, Sean. Please go online, get the form, file it. Make sure you have that marriage certificate sorted out, the marriage license. The best way to get a tourist visa is to show that you have a very important reason to go back to your home country. So don't focus on the invitation letter. Focus on the need to go back. Israeli citizens can apply for refugee status. You mean if you're an Israeli citizen, could you apply for asylum in the U.S.? The answer is yes, you could. Here's a question from a Facebook user. Can you apply for another visa if you're in administrative processing for an immigrant visa? The answer is yes, you can apply, but the question is, should you apply, or is that going to help you? I don't think you're going to solve the problem of administrative processing by applying for another visa. That's one of the questions I get all the time. I think the main solution is either try and wait it out, which doesn't work so great, or to file a mandamus lawsuit. Here's one from Flacco TV, our friend on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Says here, my wife had an interview 2 weeks ago, IR1. Everything went well. Consular officer kept her passport, told her congratulations, told her to upload her I-864A, and gave her 221G. Should we be worried? Well, it's not over till the visa's in your hand. But administrative processing doesn't mean anything bad. I wouldn't worry about it. Sorry for yawning on my live feed. I wouldn't worry about it. Now, Flacco TV, if it's 6 months from now and you're still in administrative processing, then you're going to need my help. Okay. So be aware of that. How long does an I-730 take from Jordan? I love the I-730s and I love helping Jordanians. So I love that question. An I-730 should take probably about a year, but they usually take much longer. Flacco TV, gotcha. Thanks a lot, bud. I think you got it. But if you don't, I'm here for you. But I think you got it. That I would bet on you to get this visa soon. All right. Here's a question from TikTok. I have 2 DUIs and an order of deportation. I'm married to a U.S. citizen. Any chance of getting a green card? That's tough. That is very, very tough. I don't know what to say. I mean, there's a lot to unpack there. I'd have to look at it, but there's a waiver for deportation. DUIs don't necessarily prevent a problem, but immigration is discretionary. And if you have 2 DUIs, it's going to be tough. You got your work cut out for you. You know what I mean? But I think you already know that from the nature of your question. Getting a lot of great questions here. Oh, here's one. I applied for asylum in 2016 and it's still pending. You need to hire me. You need to contact us. We can help you. We can help you a lot. Why consulates keep passports for some given 221G and not others? I have no idea why they do that. I don't know what to tell you. Let me know if you have more questions. Somebody wanted to join our Hilda Samoria. The Hilda Samoria. I wonder how Hilda, if you're listening, I wonder how you're doing out in Palm Springs. It says here, I'm married, marriage-based green card. I applied for I-130, I-45, pending only approved I-765, I-130 within 7 months. What are the next steps? The next steps are to wait for the approval. Here's Sean. Sergeant, my app says still it's pending, but because we did email them that the registered marriage. Yeah, I don't know. I think it would be worth consulting with us over this. Here's a question from Elizabeth. My father filled out an application for my siblings in 2013, but still nothing. It takes a long time. It's been 10 years. It might even take longer. I don't know. Here's one from Rowdy Gents. I like that. I like that name. Do different field offices have different processing times? Mine is in Memphis. The answer is yes, they do. But you can't really control it because it's based on where you live. Here's someone, I-730 receipts are invalid. Why? I don't know. Madi Carlos. Josh is a great lawyer. He was a lifesaver in 2022 when I was stuck in administrative processing. His help will for sure be positive for you. Thanks for the vote of confidence, Madi Carlos. I appreciate that. That's nice thing to say. I like that. That's really cool that you tuned in to say this. I just pinned your comment. I didn't even know I could do that. So that's cool. Here is a question from Alid Ahmad. Please, I've received an entered administrative processing 5535 and the file has been updated. Is this an indication for obtaining the visa? I don't think it's an indication that you're going to obtain the visa. I also don't think it's a bad sign either. Flacco, what software are you using to make people's questions pop up on your screen? I'm using a tool called StreamYard. And it allows me to go live on Facebook. We have a Facebook group for visa delays. I'm live also on LinkedIn and YouTube and Twitter or X. And then I have my phone over here where I'm live on TikTok, and then I have another phone where I'm live on Instagram. So I'm live on every place that I think I could be live pretty much. But StreamYard is what I use for my desktop. I like it. Here's a question from someone from Pakistan. So I appeared for an interview at the U.S. consulate in Denmark for a B1, B2 visa on the 9th of January to attend a conference in the U.S. in June. The visa officer put me in 221G and still administrative processing. Can I request the consulate speed up the process on the basis the conference date is the 14th of June? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. But I don't know if they're going to pay much attention to you. StreamYard is like this, by the way. I'll put it up. This is the tool that we use, StreamYard. And I like it. Matthew Carlos says, can I start a visa renewal while on a valid visa so I don't get stuck? And can I return while in administrative processing? If so, will it be canceled? And will I arrive in the US with a current valid visa? Okay, don't do that. Don't do that. If you need a new visa, you're going to have to go back to a consulate and you could end up getting stuck again. So try to avoid that, you know. Maybe stay within the US so you don't need a visa. So if you have a trip planned and you want to go to Cancun to go to the beach, then maybe you could go to Hawaii instead so you wouldn't need the visa. I mean, I know it's hard to not leave the US, but it's not a bad idea. Let me know what other questions you have, friends. We are live everywhere right now. You have a work trip, you have to go, and you want to avoid going on an expired visa. Well, I don't think you can. I think you're going to have to go through the process, unless it's one of those H-1B visas that you can renew in the US. It's a new thing that they're doing. I don't know that much about it because we don't handle H-1Bs. We do handle delayed H-1Bs visas, if that helps. Let's see here. Here's a question. Can we expect any movement in the April visa bulletin for F2B category? Tomorrow in my live, I'm going to be talking all about the March visa bulletin, and I'll be making predictions about what might happen in the future. So you want to tune in tomorrow at 12 PST. Let me know what questions you have, friends.